Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
All right, welcome in, Zano. We're back.
Welcome.
It is Sunday, July 7th, right around
Beautiful day.
6:30 my time, 5:30 your time. We attempted to do this, but the ominous father of mine came into town, so I had to get him from the airport. So we're going to jump first into the NFL Aura tier list.
The
I have my
cringiest
top
thing.
10. I have my top 10. Zane has his top 10. We're going to go through it, argue out, where we should put these guys. But ultimately we're going to land at least on a top
All
10
right.
list.
Who's your number one? You go first.
The Pats,
The Patriots.
the Patriots have the
The
most
Tom
aura in
Brady,
the NFL.
the Tom Brady era.
Yeah.
They are on my list, but they're not my number one. My number one.
Well, wait, let's back up.
Okay.
How I came to this conclusion. Like the way I ranked these is as a kid growing up playing football, right? What team would I want to be drafted to? And two, would I have the coolest storyline being a part of in my mind? Like, what would retiring? What team would I end up with a Hall of Fame career that would be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's how I thought about this
All
and
right.
thought about like what teams as a kid I thought were just like super cool. So that's how I came to my conclusion with this list. So my number one is the Pats.
So you probably wouldn't want to be drafted to this team, but you would have a crazy story if you did get drafted to this team. That is Raiders all time.
I don't know. I knew you were gonna go this way, but like the reason I don't think they're number one is because they've left they left
But
LA.
here's the thing. Let's look at the full picture. Before, so the Bad Boys. This was before we were even born. The Bad Boys playing in a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
They were the Oakland Raiders have always been the nastiest, dirtiest team in the NFL. And to your point, they did drop off for a little bit, but then they have now moved to the Las Vegas and they're back. They're fully back being the villains of the NFL, and they do not care at all. So you have Max Crosby ghosting a cigar on national television. Right. You have Antonio Pierce, who took out a bunch of loans, and then now he's $28 million in the hole. And he has to fight this is the head coach of the team. And then you have, obviously, we won't talk about like the serious stuff, but then you have that one play against Patrick Mahomes, that pick, and then while he's running back off the pick, just staring him down. That is the coldest moment in sports that I can remember in the past season. That flipping pick where he's running, he's just staring him down. That's so flipping cold. But here's the thing, is that they are literally like last chance you of the NFL. It's a bunch of dudes that don't care. They don't give about how they look in the media, how people care about them. They're just a bunch of dudes that ball and could flip and just like beat up other teams, and the fans love them. And
I just don't feel like there's enough success for them to be number one with aura.
But it's just aura, brother. And they have been the most consistent football team of all time with like their identity. They fell off somewhere in the middle, but they're back now. And the old, so like for the longest time, they've always been the villains, and they love it.
But
they
like
don't
outside of, but like who can you name from that team that just like carries aura? Like all time Raiders, who can you name that you're like, this guy carried the Raiders aura?
See, I was going to look up like their actual names on the team. I don't remember their names, but I'm pretty sure the guy with the grease. Wasn't he a Raider? The goo guy?
I have no idea.
I don't know either, but I can't name anybody, but the entire team has had an identity, and for the most part, they've stuck with that identity and they haven't changed at all. And it's a big FU to the entire league, because the entire league is going in an opposite way, and they're just like standing there like, nah, this is how we are.
I don't know if I can. They're on my list. They're on my list.
Their head coach took out a bunch of loans, and then he would like put it into a dealership. The
aura,
dealership crashed, and then now he's negative $28 million, and he's the head coach going into the next season.
I don't think that's aura, though.
That is aura, because
they're
it just
in my
fits.
top 10. They're in my top 10, but they're not one, dude. They're not one.
I don't know. I think that's a pretty good one, because it's like I was about to go so cringe and like describe what I think aura is. Okay. Let's go. Okay, I'm fine with the New England Patriots just because
being
Tom
one.
Brady was so like he had so many cold moments.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
he was
Like
a cold ass motherfucker.
and then how many Super Bowls they went to and won? Like the aura there, it's just ridiculous. That you
The
wanted to be,
dominance,
you hated it, but you loved it. Like it
yeah,
was
Bill
just like
Bel Mr. Bill Belichick,
yeah, dude, they were just so like they were so everyone hated them, but that's what made them have the aura because everyone hated them. But they played
Yeah.
right. That was the
Yeah.
thing. They're the opposite of the Raiders. All the
Well, they
success.
cheated too.
Well, sure, but like you know what I mean. They're more clean cut looking from the outside, hardworking. They didn't have stars. They won Super Bowls. The complete opposite of the Raiders, but everyone still hated them.
Yeah.
So I want it. So you're okay with Pats at 1?
Yeah, we'll put Pats at 1. What's your number 2 while I put Pats up here?
You're gonna hate this, and I hate it too. But I feel like you can't go anywhere else. Cowboys at 2.
You have the Cowboys on here?
At 2, yeah.
I don't have the Cowboys on my list.
Really?
Yeah, my number 2, because obviously you don't think the Raiders are number 2, right?
No.
Okay,
they're
so
in my top 5, but they're not. They're not.
My number 2 is the 1996 to 2012 Ravens, and that is when Ray Lewis got into the league.
Yeah.
The entirety of Ray Lewis's career. By the way, while I was looking this up, he has been a Pro Bowler in 3 flipping decades. 3 different decades he was a Pro Bowler. That's flipping insane, brother.
90s, 2000s, and teens.
Yeah. 96 to 2012.
Okay.
But
still, I don't
think the Cowboys have aura. Like the Cowboys are not cool. The Cowboys have always been
Yes,
cool.
they are, bro. Like to everyone who's not a cow. Well, I mean, most people are Cowboys haters, but at one point they were America's team, and
No, they were never America's team.
Yeah, they were.
They
bro.
were this. They had the slogan. They were not America's team.
Yeah, they were, dog.
Bro, ever since
the Cowboys have aura.
The salary cap came in. Ever since the salary cap came in, they haven't been able to get to a Super Bowl.
Bro,
you're trying to give these rich
no, but
kids
still,
like some credit here.
Still though, I just think Dallas is.
So you think Dallas has more aura than Ray Lewis and the Ravens with Ed Reed, right? Joe Flacco, Steve Smith Sr., Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, Ray Rice.
For
that was
all
peak.
time, for all time,
peak,
yes,
bro.
For all time, yes. The Ravens, that was a short burst.
A short burst? That's 3 decades.
But
that's
they weren't
3 decades.
But you're not gonna no one's gonna.
Let's just talk about Super Bowls.
No one's gonna.
They have within the 96 to 2012. They've won I don't remember how many, but they won 2. I want to say the Cowboys. They
have
only
5 in a decade.
Yeah, okay, but that was when there wasn't a salary cap, and they just
no,
bro. They just paid everyone. They just bought out the entire NFL. What about that? That's just what about that's
aura,
like yeah, that's
aura
cool.
though. That's aura because it's like they just got paid. They were just the highest paid dudes. Like they were about that. Like I'm telling you, bro. Okay.
We'll put it there. We'll put it there. You are stuck.
You're going so obscure with your takes,
bro. No shot. You have no idea. No shot. Okay, are they S tier or A? Just real quick. A. Okay. A. Who's your third? My third was the New England Patriots.
Okay.
The Packers?
Yes.
Why? Are you just going by people that win? Is that what you're going by? This seems to be the only thing you're going by is people that win.
No, because the Packers don't have a lot of Super Bowls, but the Packers have a lot of aura. When you think about think through the decades from Bart Starr to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers and now to Jordan Love. And then you had the defenses that were there. I don't know any of the 90s guys, but you had the Clay Matthews era and Aaron Hawk or AJ Hawk. You then have now you have they're a pretty darn good defense. Like they are a staple. And Lambeau has enough aura by itself.
Lambeau does. And Lambeau has Super Bowls named after him too.
Right. They have enough aura to where Lambeau itself has enough to put them in the top.
Actually, I was hating on that one. As soon as you brought up the QBs, that's
I would put him in A. I would put him in A.
That's actually a good one with the amount of QBs that they had. Just
because
go to
they
QBs.
haven't been bad. Like in our lifetime, our parents' lifetime, the Packers have never been bad. At
I
least
like
to
that
our
one.
memory. To our memory. Okay,
Okay,
4.
four.
Who's your 4?
2003 to 2015 Pittsburgh Steelers, the Troy Polamalu era.
Ooh, okay. See,
That
I
crazy defense.
I have the Steelers on there. They're lower. My 4 was the Niners.
Brother, I don't know, bro. I understand that your thought process was different than mine, but you are picking all these teams that aren't even on my list. What? Because
Go ahead.
I just feel like the 49ers just haven't been the same thing with the Cowboys. Like, I don't think we look at the 49ers as like, yeah, like Jerry Rice. Yeah, I could say the Jerry Rice era.
Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young,
Young, nah.
Candlestick Park.
I don't agree with you as much as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I have the Steelers on here, but lower because we're talking about all time. You're picking like eras. We're talking about all time. The Niners have been good for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason why the New England Patriots are up there is because of the Tom Brady era. You know, like
yeah,
like eras definitely have like fit in with that. You know, it's not like just because like I'm picking eras doesn't mean that the entire like team, the entire span.
I can go Steelers. I can go Steelers at. I can relent. I'll go Steelers.
There was that guy with the last name Harrison. You remember that video of them playing volleyball with a medicine ball,
yeah.
like a weighted medicine ball, and they're chucking that thing.
Yeah,
and they killed everyone.
I can go Steelers. I can go Steelers at 4. I can relent on that one. But
all right, now who do you want at 5?
So 4, we're going Steelers. 5 is where I have the Raiders.
The Raiders.
I have the Raiders at 5.
I have the Legion of Boom at 5.
Ooh, no.
No
shot,
bro. It's because all now
time, it's Seahawks cringe. All time. No shot, dude. All time. You're wild for these takes,
bro. I think you're digging in too much to all time.
Thank you. He just said
you are digging. You're digging one good season. They won 2 Super Bowls within a 3-year span. What do you mean one good season?
No, they won 1.
No, they have won 2.
No, the Seahawks don't have. The Seahawks have 1 Super Bowl.
No, they don't. They did for sure have 2. They have 2.
No.
Look it up. They have 2.
2014.
They have another one.
No, they don't.
They only have 1?
1 against the Broncos, 2014.
But then they went back to the Super Bowl. So
and
that's
then
they threw
the pick.
Yeah,
against
I
the
know
Pats.
they threw the pick, but that I think
they don't have any aura. They don't have any aura. Bro.
Okay, but it went for when I bring up an era, you're like, okay, all time they're bad, but then we have the Raiders on here, so then let's just throw out the Raiders because the Raiders aren't a part of it.
The Raiders have been, to your point, the Raiders have been consistent their entire, like the bad boy. They've been the bad boys.
They've been consistent
NFL.
With what they are. That's what I think you're just going based off like success.
No, I think the Raiders. No, the Seahawks. I'm sorry, but no, the Seahawks are not in the top 5.
I'm fine with leaving the Legion of Boom out.
Yeah, no way. All time, the Seahawks are a new franchise too. They don't have the history.
Okay, 6. Where we still
You're gonna hate my 6.
We still haven't put Ravens. We haven't put Ravens anywhere.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have the Ravens on here.
Okay, all right.
But
what's your 6?
You're gonna hate it. But it's the Broncos.
I don't think you know what aura is.
The Broncos have such a massive fan base. We have the longest standing streak for sellout home field games.
Awesome. That's great. They still are just goofy. They're just a goofy franchise.
Why? The Elway eras, Shannon Sharp, the McCaffrey, McCaffrey's dad was a part of that era. And then you have the Peyton Manning era.
Again, we're just the consistent here is like good players on the team equals aura. That's the consistent with your thought process.
Because that's what creates aura for a team.
No, it's not, brother. The play that I talked about where they pick off Patrick Mahomes and they stare him down as he jogs into the end zone. That is aura. Fear is aura. Like putting fear into the other team.
I don't think so. Who do you have at 6?
I can't even say it because it's another era. Weapon X. Philadelphia Eagles. What's his name? Brian Dawkins, Weapon X. I have him at 6.
You're going with, see, that's the thing. You're going with players, not teams.
I'm going with like how they were viewed during that time period.
Yeah, but we're talking about teams. We're not talking about players. You're picking players
and
and saying they have the most aura.
And because like they were a part of the team, it makes the team that like he was the guy who would like come out of the tunnel on all fours and like do this on all fours, and then he would smoke people on the defensive side.
Were you looking at this as in this team for like this team? Like you were looking at an entire franchise's like history and picking a team and putting them somewhere? Because I'm looking at like the history of that team in the league, and that's what I'm putting.
Yeah, but you're going based off of like success. Like I'm just saying, like from this time, they deserve to be on the list because from this time period, they were one of the most feared teams, one of the baddest teams on the planet.
So you're that answers my question. Yes, you're going off of auras, and you're not auras. You're going off of team eras, like instead of the entirety of their history and putting and ranking it.
Because that era, like it overshadows the rest of what they've done. That the era that we're talking about, the Pittsburgh Steelers era, the Ravens era with Ray Lewis, that overshadows everything else because during that era, their aura was so crazy that they deserve to be on the list. You understand?
I mean, I'm fine if you want to put the Ravens here.
All right, I will put the Ravens there. All right, what are we on, 7?
Yeah, 7 for me. See, I can't go with the rest of these because it doesn't match up to what you're doing. Because you're taking teams and saying I'm looking at their entire history. My 7's the Chiefs.
I was fine with putting the Chiefs up.
See, but I think the Broncos have more aura than the Chiefs.
And I think it's because you're defining aura as like success. That seems
because when you think about it, if you're getting drafted and you get drafted to the Chargers, you're like, but why? Because they weren't for so long. But you get drafted to the Broncos, and outside of the post Peyton Manning era, they have a long history of being of things you can look at and say they're a great franchise.
I just don't think that's aura, brother.
I think that is, if you get drafted and you're hyped, obviously you're going to be hyped either way because you're going to the NFL. But if you get drafted and you're hyped, it's for a reason.
But like, have you seen?
It's not just because of whatever.
Just real quick, all the videos that I've seen on TikTok that talk about somebody's aura, it's about them like standing all cool, like and menacing, with like a rap beat playing in the background. That is what I've seen as aura. So I don't know how being excited to go to a team like equals.
You're excited because of their aura. Like it's the same thing of like the Bulls franchise. They haven't been good since Jordan, but if you get drafted to the Bulls,
I put the Jordan's era.
It's a cool thing because the Bulls have so much aura because of Jordan.
Yeah, so but like that specific. I'm not saying that like I'm right. I'm saying that specific scenario is how I'm basing all of this off. The Jordan era accumulated so much.
Well, and then you have Derrick Rose though, because that's the thing. If it was just Jordan, obviously everyone wants to be Jordan, but you can do that anywhere. But then you have the Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler era, and then after that, I guess those are basically the two, but they're separated by a decade or so.
But that's why I had New England Patriots as top 3 because
you wanted to do eras, and if you would have defined that would have been different. We can put. I mean, who do you want to put at 7 then, or we 7? Put the Ravens, so then 8. So who do you want to put at 8? I have the Steelers here.
I already
have the Steelers up.
I have the Cam Newton era on the Panthers.
Jesus Christ,
bro! This one's like,
what the fuck are you talking about?
They went undefeated. It's undefeated season.
No, they didn't.
Well, they almost went undefeated. They were very close.
No,
everybody was hyping that.
I'm not folding to that.
Okay. I can't pick anybody else because the
Panthers, bro. The Panthers. You're gonna put the Panthers in the top 10,
Cam Newton era.
The top 10. The top 10 teams.
Just the Cam Newton era. With just the Cam Newton era.
No, we said teams.
Okay.
For their history. You're so wild.
That one, but it's 8, and bro, I have a worse one too.
The Bears have more aura than the Panthers.
You want to put the Bears? That's fine.
I have the Bears at 9. So if you want to put the Bears, we can. I'll just read you my last 4 that I have on here. Bears, Finns, Vikings, and Bills. Bills are the bottom end. Vikings and Bills were my last 2. They were like honorable
Why
mentions.
Vikings?
I don't know. I remember seeing like all the Randy Moss and like Brett Favre highlights and the purple people eater defense and like Minnesota, they're cold. The jerseys are sick. Like
I like that one.
So I have that on here. I have the Finns, Miami for the Dan Marino era. Like everyone still talks about
I
it.
knew
And
the
the colors
Marino
are colors are still sick. And like, I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you my last one. And this one is the most player because it's just one player that I was going to put up just because of how flippin' sick he was, and that's Mike Oslot. You probably don't know who that is, but he was a 6'1", 248-pound fullback.
Oh, on Tampa?
Yes, and I watched him play, and then I'm like, that's who I want to be. And I
every time I see a highlight of him, I just think of you.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm gonna try and be like flipping Mike Oslot. And they had their running back core. They had something called the Rhino formation, where they had another 240-pound guy actually as the fullback, and then they had like a 200-pound QB as well. And then they would snap the ball, Mike Oslot would get it, and then they would pull their.
Was that Donovan McNabb when he was there?
I don't know, but they would have pulley guards and a 240 fullback and Mike Oslot, who's 240. Just go. How do you feel about the Giants?
No, just no.
All right, let's put San Fran up there because that was one of yours.
All right, at 10.
Yeah, at 10. All right, boys. So we had.
Do you want to put the Falcons up there for the Michael Vick era? Like.
That was a cold era, except for, he would wear the Air Jordan retros. Like he was pretty cold when he was.
We only have 8 there right now.
Yeah. Who are our last 2 then?
We
could just go by yours.
Well, the ones that we had on there that we don't have are Broncos and Chiefs.
All right. Where do you want Broncos?
You can put them there. We could leave it there like that.
There. All right.
Oh, gosh.
We had a dispute. We had a dispute about what aura is, and then through fighting each other this entire time, we have come up with this list. Let us know down in the comments how you define aura. That's such a cringe thing to say, but we both had different ideas on what aura was, and yeah, I honestly, to be fair, I think this is a good mix of both because we both agree S tier Patriots. I don't agree with Cowboys, but I agree with Steelers, Raiders, Ravens, and then Chiefs. And then you have yours in there as well. So it's a good mix of both.
Yeah, I don't know. There's the Ravens. I see the Ravens and I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
what are you talking about? They have been very successful.
Yeah,
I think
anyone's lit to go.
I think most people are going to agree with my definition of what aura is.
To me, aura is Michael Jordan.
Yeah, 100%.
When you think about Michael Jordan, he like the success, he feels like a god figure. That's what I can associate with aura. Yeah. And when I was looking at this whole thing, I was looking at God franchises. That's the way I was looking at it instead of God eras. If we would have did eras, I think our list would have been a lot closer, but I was looking at the entire franchise. Like in my mind, when I go to Madden and I say I want to have a Hall of Fame career, right? I'm going to build a my player and I'm going to play a Hall of Fame career, and I look at these teams, if I'm not memeing, these are the top 10 teams that I would look at and say I'm going to be on this team.
Yeah, what's funny is we have the same thought process. It just falls apart at the very end because I also agree, like Michael Jordan, godly amounts of aura, but the reason why is not only like his success plays a part in it, but it's also like how cold he was. You know, like you hear all the stories about him like saying, don't ever wear those shoes around me, or like
my only problem, and because I agree with you with that. My only problem with bringing it into the rankings was that you were basing it on players. Like you were going too specific.
Yeah, that is true. But
that was my only issue with it, is you were going so specific. Because when you really look at it,
But
like the
specifically,
Seahawks, for example,
yeah,
outside of the Legion of Boom era, can you
yeah.
name me anything else in the entirety of the Seahawks franchise history that has aura to it?
Only one, and his name is Sean Alexander. That's it.
See, I don't even know who that is.
He was just a good running back. That's it.
Okay. So that was my only thing with it. But nonetheless, you said
Yeah.
it. There was our list. Let's get into this. So speaking of aura, staying on the topic of aura, this UA team, this USA team might be the greatest USA men's basketball team of all time, and certainly up there in terms of aura. But that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to go through and give you the roster here, starting in no particular order. I'll give you my starting five. I'll give you my starting five after I go through the entirety of it. So Steph, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Drew Holiday, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and Bam Adebayo. It's a nasty team.
Who's one person that shouldn't be here?
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese?
Yeah.
All right.
1000%.
Okay.
I think you could argue, I think for sure Tyrese shouldn't be here. His name is such a weird one to have amongst this group, but I think you could argue against Devin Booker too.
Yeah. I think there's sort of like a theme with this one, and Tyrese kind of doesn't fit the theme of what this team kind of is.
Everyone on this team is big, long, and just athletic as hell. And then there's Tyrese, who's just like playmaker. Yeah, but he's probably at the very end of the bench, most likely. Mm-hmm. He's going to be the like guy there where they're panning across the stage when they win gold. And then there's just Tyrese, and he's like no sweat in the gold game. Like he's just completely like didn't play.
This is his first or second year?
First Olympics, second USA team appearance because he played in FIBA.
Oh, gotcha.
A lot of these guys played in FIBA. Anthony Edwards, this is his first USA Olympic experience. He played on FIBA. Bam, I think, has played for an Olympic team. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, this is his first anything with USA basketball. Jason Tatum, I think, has played in one Olympics. Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I didn't expect LeBron James to be this much of a red-pilled American. He got tired of the USA not winning gold, and he said, "Let me cook really quick."
You know the song in Paris, bro? That's LeBron heard that come on and was like, "Let me call the boys. Let me call the boys."
You know what's crazy is because Paris it's very big when it comes to celebrities being there because you have like Fashion Week and all that. What if this is the first time that like at a USA like game or like finals, if they make it to the finals, you have people like Jay-Z in the stands?
Mm-hmm.
Like what if this is the first time in the Olympics that you have basically
like fanfare there?
Yeah, you have basically an LA Lakers just regular night where it's all celebrities in the front row.
It could be. That's honestly a really good point because you don't see that in the Olympics because usually like other world leaders and stuff are there buying it out, but London or Paris, sorry, is
you have Fashion Week, all these rappers show up. What if it's like the finals and it's just filled out?
And I'm sure a lot of these celebrities have places in Paris. I'm sure a lot of them have connections or timeshares, whatever.
That would be crazy. This is really we're getting the old USA team. We're getting the 2.0 of that.
Yeah, we're getting like top three because there's the Dream Team.
Yeah.
Which is the Jordan team. Then there's the Redeem team, which is the Kobe LeBron team. Mm-hmm. And then now we have this team. I don't know what the name is going to be for this, but
can we come up with one real fast?
I've seen like Redeem Team 2, but that's boring. So Dream Team, Redeem
Team. The Get Back team. Get our lick back.
The Cream Team.
The Spin the Block team.
Well, it's got to go because it's Dream Team, Redeem Team. It's got to have E. It's got to have that E in there.
Cream Team.
That's what I said, the Cream Team.
The free team.
I don't mind that.
Gaining our, we're showing the rest of the world. Like, this is US of goddamn A.
Yeah. So anyways, this is my starting five. There's been a lot of different. Oh, before I go with the starting five, Kevin Durant is reportedly out because he tweaked something, which sucks because
that does suck.
When you look at USA basketball, there's I look at Jordan in the 90s as the face of USA basketball, and then Kobe was the face of USA basketball. And then oddly enough, Melo was the face of USA basketball for those years in between. When Kobe was done with USA basketball and LeBron wasn't playing, Melo was kind of like Mr. USA. Like he was in the NBA, but then when it came time for Olympics, bro was electric. And then post Carmelo, once he was kind of done, it's been KD. Like he's been Mr. USA for after Melo. So it kind of sucks not seeing him here, but it's going to be exciting either way, having LeBron back in the Olympics. And I love that. And I think we kind of forgot that the Olympics was a thing, basketball fans in general, but it makes sense because this is probably the last time LeBron will participate in the Olympics because he's probably going to retire when his contract's done. He's got 2 more years on his contract that he just signed. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the end and that's 2 years. So maybe he plays in FIBA that year because FIBA's every 2 and then Olympics it switches off. So it's FIBA then every 2 years. You know what I mean? So Olympics are this year. In 2 years, it'll be FIBA. Then it's Olympics and it goes on.
You think he's doing a little bit of scouting, trying to get some boys to come over?
I'm sure that'll be a part of it. That's always a part of Team USA. Always. Because when you look at it, a lot of Team USA, like a lot of NBA duos or whatever got sparked because of USA. Because they go and they talk and it's guys that you never thought you'd get to play with. And then you play with them on the USA team and you're like, we're kind of nasty. You know what I mean? Like this chemistry is kind of good or whatever. And it's always the top 12. Well, in the past, it's been the top 12 guys. This year, it is the top end guys, but there's still some filler to where, it's a lot of stars. So it could be. I'm sure that LeBron is doing a little bit of talking.
A little bit of marketing, a little bit of car salesman act.
Well, and AD's there too. So a lot of these guys that are there get to experience both of them, playing with both of them together, that I'm sure he's doing something. Like I could see a scenario where he's in Kawhi's ear.
Yeah. Chirping.
Because Paul George is out. The Clippers are probably going to rebuild, which sucks for them because they just spent all this money on a new stadium. But I could see him chirping. And if Kawhi wants to stay in LA, he says, look, you don't have to play the whole freaking year. You can play 20 games of the year. Just be there for the playoffs for me. That's it. That's all I want from you. And I'll carry the team. We'll make the playoffs. We'll be fine. And then when the playoffs come, we'll turn it up. But
so
that's the only real duo that I can see.
Who's these boys' competition? Who could possibly beat this God Squad? Because Greece just knocked out Austria or
Croatia or something.
They just knocked out Luka Doncic, so his team will not be in the Olympics.
Okay, so let's talk about the starting 5 then. So starting 5 matchup wise, just man to man, no one. Because this is my starting 5. I would have LeBron at point guard, Steph Curry at shooting guard, and then either Jason Tatum or Kawhi Leonard. Probably Jason Tatum because Kawhi will touch the floor and break his leg. So probably Jason Tatum at the 3, and then Anthony Davis for playing power forward, and then Joel Embiid playing center. And then the 6th man is probably Kawhi or Drew Holiday. So looking at that, just matching up man to man, bro, there's nobody in the Olympics that can handle that, bro. Just LeBron himself in the Olympics is enough to win us a gold. Like if you took last Olympics and just stuck LeBron in it, it's gold.
He's that powerful. He's that powerful of a creature.
Bro, his power levels are insane.
Well, I do hear a lot that it's more like once you go to the Olympics, why a lot of USA teams have struggled in the past is because it is more of a team game. And they struggle with that because the Euro leagues play sort of a different type of basketball. So does it just not matter because they're so great?
You're right. And to my point, I've talked about this a lot when it comes to these guys in the NBA that are role players. They get to their home teams and they become Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
To the same point, a lot of times number one, in the past, we haven't had a lot of the high caliber guys on the team. Two, a lot of times you have a lot of the finals guys that are on the team. So they're delayed in getting there because, for example, when the Bucks won the championship 4 years ago, which is crazy to say that it was 4 years ago. When the Bucks won the championship, Drew Holiday literally, they won the championship. He celebrated that night and then got on a plane. Like he celebrated for like a couple hours and then got on a plane and went to Tokyo.
Yeah.
So in this case, Jason Tatum's the only guy.
Yeah.
Everyone else has been doing shit for a while. So the chemistry is going to be there. The other thing is a lot of these guys are vets. I think that everyone has played in the league long enough and they know each other and have experienced Team USA together before. And think about it also. I know it's the All-Star game is a fucking joke, whatever.
Yeah.
But a lot of these guys have been on the All-Star teams together. So the chemistry is there. That chemistry is already there.
Yeah, and I do think it helps because we talk a lot about LeBron's basketball smarts. I think it helps that he's here, and he probably will have like certain strategies for certain teams. He seems to be kind of like that guy who watches film, and then he has like, this is how we win. So that'll be nice. And you were discussing before this that the coaches are also,
dude, the coaching staff is crazy too. We have that's the other thing to me too is I love Coach K. When it came to USA basketball, I think Duke basketball is a little bit overrated. But USA basketball, Coach K always did a great job.
Yeah.
But outside of Greg Popovich, his crew was not all that illustrious in my eyes, in my opinion. This group to me is the best group of coaches to coach an NBA team. Like these are NBA players, right? Coach K and the staff he had was like, we're fundamental. We are, da 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 da. This is like, we have NBA players and we're going to coach them like an NBA team.
Yeah, there's no more of this like, all right, get on the line. We're going to do a couple suicides after practice.
Right, we're going to do a couple suicides.
Tough.
We're going to be this team game. No, we're playing USA basketball. We're playing American basketball.
We're alley-ooping it, and then Anthony Edwards is flipping yamming on some small-ass dude from France.
Right, we're not going to do this like yes, there's the other teams play this team game. We're going to make it USA basketball. So Steve Kerr is the head coach. Eric Spoelstra, who in my eyes is the best coach in the NBA, certainly the best defensive coach. His defensive schemes are ridiculously good, and I can't wait to see his amoeba defense in USA rules because there's no 3-second rule. Ooh. And so that amoeba defense that he has, where it's like this morphing and changing zone, it's like a Pac-Man kind of deal. So basically the rules in like a Pac-Man are don't let anyone inside the key, and it's a zone. So you're playing your zone, but you switch with your man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're not face guarding him, but you're playing a zone, but you switch with your man, but you can also pass them off. It's complicated, but if executed correctly, it's insanely hard to play against.
Do you think that they're going to be able to execute that sort of defense with such little time that they've had practicing it?
Yes, because Kawhi is there, defensive savant, Drew Holiday, defensive savant, Anthony Edwards, willing to be a dog. You have the anchor. You have two really great anchors. Well, three. I would even put Bam. All three centers are great anchors. Bam is a really good USA guy. On the Heat, he's okay. For USA, although he takes it up to another level. Anthony Davis, great shot blocker, great rim defender. Joel Embiid, great shot blocker, great rim defender. So you've got your anchors there. You have a couple perimeter savants. You've got LeBron, who will just be the maestro of the whole thing. It'll work.
We start talking about Paris and France, and you start bringing out some big, elegant words like savant. Here's another one: poutine team. Because of cheese in France.
Sure.
OD team.
So Steve Kerr is the head coach. Eric Spoelstra is a assistant. Tyronn Lue is LeBron's guy, so that's another great assistant there. And then you have the chemistry with Steve Kerr and Curry, so great there. Yeah. And then you have Mark Few, which is the Gonzaga head coach. It's neither here nor there. He's a great coach, and he's got some good defensive schemes too that will work out well. But he'll just kind of be there. He won't have a lot of input in this. I'm going to be honest with you.
Gotcha.
But this team's crazy.
The point is, we're about to
annihilate the world.
we're about to smash and pass the rest of the world like a groupie after a show, and then we're gonna take the gold and bring it back home. That's what we're doing.
That's the end all be all.
It's clear we're about to pull out our schlongs and we're gonna measure it. And when they realize that we got 4 inches on everybody else in the entire world, it's game over. Obviously, I'm talking about
this is like
tall
Shaq,
everyone is.
Right. This is like Shaq walking into the showers after,
Yes.
with, you know what I mean? Like, that's what this is.
This is about to be Shaq butt ass naked, flaunting his stuff around. That's what this is about to be. It's about to be dominant. It's about to be nasty, and the rest of the world isn't going to like it.
What LeBron did is diabolical. Let's be real here. What LeBron did is fucking diabolical.
Look at him over there. He's a man. He's an American man.
Hell yeah.
And he's about to show the rest of the world why you don't with us.
So next up, we're going to talk some Ceedee Lamb, possibility of him being on the move here. We hashed a little bit of it out last night. There's rumors that Dallas is potentially going to rebuild soon. So Dak is probably going to be on the move. And if Dak's on the move, why are you going to waste CD when he's a great asset that you can get some other guys? Micah's fine. You can leave him there and let him rot. But in lieu that they decide to trade CD, and he is a trade piece, he's a target that can be, I don't know what I'm saying here. Point is, where do we think CD is going to go? We talked a little bit about it last night, but
yeah, I did a small bit of research, and you're going to like this. I searched up what offense did the Cowboys run, and of course, being the Cowboys, they do not run a regular offense. They have to be unique. So they run Texas Coast offense, which is just West Coast, just with, I guess, Texas implemented into
So it's probably like...
It's a West Coast offense.
It's like 11 or 12... it's like a more 11, 12 personnel mixed in with a spread.
Yes, basically, that's what it is, but they want to be unique. So from that, we can either see Arizona's out, even though they run a West Coast. 49ers, I know they don't run a West Coast either, but if you had to classify it, they're close to a West Coast offense. And then I forget who else it is. But based off of that, I mean, Brandon Ayuk's out. I said it earlier, like Brandon Ayuk for Ceedee Lamb. Is that something we're thinking about?
No, because they have to pay him, and the whole thing with Ayuk is they don't want to pay him, so that doesn't work. They don't want to pay him.
All right, who else?
CD wants a payday. We talked a little bit about it. I think the Chargers is a great mix.
Yeah, Chargers with Justin Herbert.
They've got the money. It's the warm weather. CD fits there. Justin Herbert. That feels like, and CD feels like the kind of guy that would get along with Justin Herbert because Justin's really reserved and CD can have the spotlight. I think in Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback is always going to get the spotlight, and Dak's just kind of like a blob. Like it's like, and we're gonna go to this guy, and it like pans, and Dak's just like. You know what I mean? He's not exciting, and I think CD can be that guy, the face of a franchise. And while Justin Herbert is would be the best player on the team and the quarterback, he's not outgoing. He's a funny guy. If you see like the inside the Chargers stuff, he's a funny guy, but he's not like he's got commercials, but he's not that. You know what do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like Travis Kelce. Yeah. Travis Kelce is the heart of that team. Patrick Mahomes may be the best player, but Travis Kelce is the guy. Like he's the guy that everyone's like, woo.
Keeping it in KC, that is another team that at least the internet says they run sort of a West Coast offense.
Yeah. And could you imagine having giving Andy Reid that weapon?
Yeah. Just giving Patrick Mahomes an actual weapon. That's insane.
And with
that
Rashi too.
That guy I was arguing with last night when I was drunk, we talked about the Chiefs because the point was Trevor Lawrence.
That's so wild. We're just sitting in
I
our
know,
DMs, bro. Just
but
texting this guy.
Yes, the point is that he was like, you have to watch the games. Like, look at all these wide receivers who drop these open balls. It's not Trevor Lawrence's fault. And I was like, okay, I could find let's just talk about the Chiefs, for example. They had way worse wide receivers and they won a Super Bowl, and he's not getting paid as much as Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
So it's sort of that same idea. Imagine what Patrick Mahomes could do with an actual weapon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that would be, especially because they're trying to go three-peat. I guess they do have Marquise Brown. You don't really care for Marquise Brown. I still think he's a good to great wide receiver. If I had to put him somewhere, you don't feel
He's
the same way. But
he's okay to good to
it's
me.
it's Dak would be. I mean, not Dak. Ceedee Lamb would be a ginormous improvement.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think they're
He's
actually?
top 5 in the league, so yeah.
The problem is, do you think the Cowboys actually want to give up CD?
It would be a Cowboys move.
It would be a Cowboys move, but I doubt he just fits so well there. But
I
here's the other
don't think
thing is
so.
that
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so. Him with the star on his helmet, I don't see it.
you don't think he's a good. I guess it's just because he's been there. We don't know if he's actually just like a gritty dude who just wants to like ball out.
Seeing him somewhere else, like the rich kid, yes, I see it.
But that could just be just because he got drafted to the rich team.
Right. I definitely understand the like stigma around the rich kid that like the AAU team or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the Viking, like you know who I'm talking about, the Vikings in like in Coeur d'Alene. It's those he gives me that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's always that one like super privileged kid on the hood team that's like nasty for no reason.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can see that for him. I can see him if he was in that environment to be that guy. And so I could see I like the Chargers. I brought this one up. We talked a little bit about the Chiefs. I like the Panthers kind of. If you really think that Bryce Young is for real, and maybe you hit on some draft picks or something like that, why not just like we're gonna go out and get him? We're gonna go out and get our guy a guy and see what he's worth. You know?
We're gonna go all in. I think the main problem is that what they really need is a good offensive line.
Sure. I'm just saying, let's say they surprise us this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it.
They win like 6 games. Oh, that's not enough. They win like 7 or 8 games, right? They're close to 500. And then you look at it and they're like, you know what? We go get a receiver and we go get a right guard this summer. We're kind of chilling. Like we might be better next year.
Here's something thrown out into left field, hanging to the left. Just think about it, the Rams.
No.
How much longer is Matthew Stafford going to be there? Cooper Kupp's getting a little bit older. I mean, they need the strength of that defense.
They're not going to move.
They won't move Kupp.
No, they're not going to move Kupp.
Right.
They're not going to move Kupp, and they've got Puka anyways. So
I know, but that was the thing is that I don't want. I'm not saying this because I don't believe it, but it was his first year. Who knows how he does it in 5 years if he keeps up this production.
Sure, but you've also got Kyron Williams, and he's going to be back the whole year, so there should be a load that's taken off of him. Stafford's
and it's also
till they take him off his rocker, till they throw him out of the wheelchair. He's going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, we did put out a clip saying that it was going to be it might be a year or two, and then Stafford's out.
I think they're going to try and make one more Super Bowl run.
Yeah, I think so too. But that I think they're going to go in getting one
more time.
Yeah, but I think as well getting somebody with the route running ability of CD would be really nice because really your route runner is Cooper Kupp. And he's only getting older. And
the only thing with Cooper though is you have to keep in mind he had to start the year out really slow, and the whole reason he started the year out slow is because last year they were trying to get him a record, and he ended up clipping his knee, right? So like, there's a little bit of that where like they were smarter about it this year. He's gonna come back better. Stafford was nicked up. They didn't have Kyron. It was the Aaron Donald, whole thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Aaron Donald, did you see the thing that JJ Watt was like, if D'Amico Ryans absolutely needs me, he can call me?
Yes, I did see that. Do we like that or do we hate that? I kind of like it.
I love it.
I like the idea, which I said this on my Madden video. I love the idea of what Joe Flacco did, and I hope that this like is a snowball effect to where now like Phillip Rivers is like, hey, you need me for a year on whatever team, like let's go. All these old guys like Alex Smith, even like all these guys
Alex Smith is done. I don't know if you've seen his leg, but he's done.
No, I haven't seen it. But all these old quarterbacks that we grew up watching. I would love it if Joe Flacco was the first, and then for the next 5 years we have all these.
No, but Joe is still
playing.
Joe is still playing, and he's gonna.
Well, he's
on the Colts now, but I'm sure he's got it. Like I'm sure this year, by like week 6, if Anthony Richardson is still healthy, they might cut him loose. And then if there's another team out there that needs a guy,
Yeah.
like I'm sure they'll give him a
But
call.
wouldn't that be so much fun? All these guys we grew up watching, they just come back for like a season, 2 seasons, just like they're like, hey, I want to play again.
Like I think Aaron Donald might come back if the Rams are in contention. He might come back. JJ Watt has said that.
I like the idea of all these dudes that like, yeah, I still have a little bit left in the tank. Like, just put me on a 1 year, and then like,
yeah,
especially when if it's to the level of Joe Flacco, to where he just like he sort of shredded defenses for a little bit there.
Well, because they haven't seen film on him in so long, and I think that's the thing. You can't do it. You can't make like a career comeback. It's just got to be 1 year. It's just 1 year because it's just the surprise factor. It's just surprise factor. It's like, all right, we're just gonna like Matt Ryan or something. I don't know.
Eli Manning's pretty young as well. Like he could just do 1 year.
I don't know if Eli can do it because Eli wasn't that fantastic. Joe had an arm.
I mean, Andrew Luck, dude. Andrew Luck comes back for a year or two. Like that would be insane.
Where would he go?
I don't flip it.
Dude,
no, he can go anywhere.
I know that you're gonna hate me, but I would just love to see him in a Broncos uniform.
Of course you would. He does look like a Broncos guy.
He does.
Who else was I just had one as well.
Before we keep going on this, I have one more team that is like a random one. And I know that, and I've dogged on him because it's too cold and whatever. I don't know why. But I can see CD in a Patriots uniform.
I do like that with Drake May on that team.
I can see it for some reason.
And that's the one thing that they don't have. They don't have a weapon. We talked about it, and they're like, they're going to get one next year.
And it's a whole new system. It's a whole new system. So who knows? And with Drake May, or even, God forbid, they give Joe Mixon that fucking weapon.
Mixon, yeah.
Bro, imagine they are like, you know what? We're going Joe Mixon. And we got the $1 billion arm.
His name's not Joe. What's his name? Not Joe Mixon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
His name's Joe. Joe Hilton or Milton.
Joe Milton. Sorry.
Joe Milton. It's very close.
If they gave Joe Milton CeeDee Lamb, bro.
That'd be insane.
Oh my gosh. Either way, I don't know why, but I can see it. I can see him in a Patriots uniform. Maybe it's because I can imagine like Randy Moss there and they've got a similar body type.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why, but like I can see CD in a Patriots uniform for sure.
Alrighty. Are we going into the comments real quick?
Yeah, let's do the comment that you had. Let's talk about that.
I gotta see. Okay, so we're gonna go through this person's top 5. This is Ricky, and he gave us his top 5 of the best wide receiver QB duo. Ricky says his top 5 is Dak Lamb, Tua Hill, Hurts Brown, Burrow Chase, Goff, and Amon-Ra.
Ooh, okay. Wow.
So this is something that I forgot to even mention, is that you put Tua and Tyreek Hill extremely low for that list. And I'm surprised more people didn't. Well, I guess they haven't seen it, but I would say more people would put Tua Hill a lot higher than what we did.
Because I think Tyreek's carrying that.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's why I put Burrow and Chase so high. That's why they're 1 to me. Because they're both so fucking good. Of all the quarterbacks that are up there, Burrow's the best. And of all the receivers that are up there, Chase is the best.
Yeah. And I mean, he was my number 1 too. But I think I would have probably went with a Burrow, Chase, Dak Lamb, Tua Hill. That's probably what my top 3 would be.
Goff, Amon-Ra is crazy being that high.
I think the only reason why I think he doesn't make the top 5 is because of Sam Laporta and how much they use their running backs. It really was like the entire team, even Jameson Williams.
Everyone.
Yeah.
They used everyone. They like Amon-Ra wasn't so dominant.
Yeah.
The Hurts Brown is good. I think that's high. I think that's like, I would be fine if you wanted to go 3 with that. That's fine to me.
Yeah, I think that's good. But it's the same thing going back to Goff, Amon-Ra. It's the same thing why Burrow and Chase are number 1. It's because like it's just those two, and they got a connection and they're throwing to like Burrow's throwing the Chase. But the Goff, Amon-Ra, obviously Amon-Ra was the number 1, but he did utilize other weapons a lot. But how do we feel about Dak Lamb, number 1? This guy's number 1.
Statistically, I get it, but the other thing to this too, and this has nothing to do with how they play, but just like off the field, Burrow and Chase are like brothers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't see CD and Dak like being buds. Like I feel like when they leave the practice facility, like they're not like, hey, you want to like hop on the game, or like you want to, get dinner or something all together, you and your missus, me and my girl, like whatever. When they leave the practice facility, they're not texting, they're not on the phone, they're not boys. Like they're just not boys. So
It's
like
the
I
same
don't
thing
know.
as Russell Wilson and Marshawn. Like that's just
Yeah,
my
they're not
QB. That's
boys.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. They're not boys. That's
Yeah,
the
I can
only
see
thing
that.
for me with those. And like same thing with Goff and Amon-Ra, Tua and Tyreek. Like none of those guys, but maybe AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. I don't see any of those guys like as boys.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's why the other thing, I see Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford being boys.
Yeah, they probably are too. But I mean, this guy left off Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford.
I know, which is crazy, but they defended me in the comments, bro. They came for your head.
Okay,
that they're high.
Yeah, they're high up for sure, but they were not number one, like you were saying. We have 5 minutes left. There's more of these that we can look at, and we can see if you were really being defended.
There's a couple. I know there was
Okay.
a majority of a couple.
So this one, Kupp, Matthew definitely aren't one, but they're top 6 for sure, right? So that's a both, right? Agreeing with both of us.
Yeah.
Kupp isn't even the best receiver on his team.
They really don't know ball. You really don't. I really don't know if you're great. Oh, I read that stream,
Yes.
the Landon Easton stream.
Yes,
and
I saw that. That was fun.
Yeah. Did you read through it?
Yeah,
I read through that one, and they were agreeing with me.
No, they weren't. What are you talking about?
They were agreeing with me.
Okay, sure. Whatever.
I promise you, bro.
Okay, where the heck? Okay, there.
Damn, you just got these boys hugging.
Yeah, bro. That was the clip I put out. They were all like hugging. Is bro fried? That duo is not number one. I say more top 10. Glasses smoking crack. That's me. And then here's a comment that I didn't understand, because you look through all the comments and like they're defending is like, this is a troll cap take for views. Top duo in NFL history, not even just right now. Peep the stats, kids.
Oh,
I don't know.
I read this a couple times, and I think he's saying you, because that's the only thing that makes sense here. That he's saying like they're a bet that Kupp and Stafford are like a top 10 duo ever, not just this year, and you're capping for your take. I think
so. This is the top comment puts what you're talking about more in the perspective. They weren't agreeing with you. They just said there's no world where Stafford and Kupp aren't top 5 at least. Not that he's number one. You wanted to put him at number one. That was the argument here.
See, and I'm fine with that. That's in the moment I did say that, but I'm fine saying that they're not number one. They're definitely top 3 though.
Yeah,
Damn,
I agree.
bro, you
After
just got
thinking
these
about it.
motherfuckers just
Well, I'm
hugging.
trying to see. Okay, that's all of them. That's all of them. I thought I had more, but apparently I didn't. I remember more, but
I'm Devin. That's saying this is Buffet Sports. If you want to be a part of the show, comment down below. We do a comment show every week. If your take's good enough and it makes the cut, we'll put it in the show. Again, I'm Devin. That's saying this is Buffet Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We love y'all. Ciao.
good ciao.